All right, welcome to After Hours. Steve with me.
Hi.
As Detroit City finished off their season tonight at San Antonio, which for the most part was a dead rubber match for Detroit City at this point because virtue of the fact that Tampa Bay defeated the
Indy 11.
Indy 11. I believe, let me look this up real quick here as I'm looking up my scores now. 3-0 was the final score there.
Just to thank the Tampa Bay fans sticking with them after the hurricane that made Al Lang Stadium useless. But, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, but they played at IMG Academy tonight, and Indy 11 ended up going down there after Tampa drew against Hartford Athletic on Wednesday night. Tampa basically just shut down Indy 11 in that early game. But we're not here to talk about Tampa Bay Indy 11.
No, they did us a huge favor because with the loss, third place.
Yes.
Before we even kicked off in San Antonio.
Pretty much. I mean, it was official come halftime of the match, of our match. It became official at the end of at halftime of our match.
Yes.
But by then, Detroit City was up.
Yes.
By then, Detroit City was up. So, I mean, but let's go over the city highlights first of all.
City highlights, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, and we're going to blend them in as we do that above our screen there. I'm going to try not to cover up
don't
TMFJ here.
Don't cover up Trevor. He brought out the title. It's the title.
He's the guy that helped build this team, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We'll just
hired DCFC away from Sacramento, and look
at what the players that he's helped bring into this club as well. I mean,
and just remember, this is a total reversal from when we entered the league 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
I mentioned this in pregame. We faced on San Antonio. They were the best team in the USL.
One of the best teams.
One of the best teams. And we were a working team.
In fact, they ended up winning the championship that first game that we played in USL Championship back in 2022. Yes. They ended up winning the championship against Lou City. And, they were one of the best teams in the USL Championship.
And now we're reversal now.
Yeah, going into that game, San Antonio was eliminated from all playoff contention. So, pretty much, once it came to halftime, it became a dead rubber match for Detroit City. However, in the, let's see here. We'll go into, in the 28th minute of play, Maxi Rodriguez notches his 10th goal of the year on an assist from Lejo to put City up 1-0.
And he fired a great rocket with bounce one past the San Antonio goalkeeper in the left side of the net. Boom. The first time a Detroit City player have reached double-digit goals since the city legend, Sean Claude Lawson, SLC. He had 12 in the last NPSL season we were in.
Right you are, Steve. And then Ryan Williams. Okay, first of all, let me set this up. Okay. Carter Morley got a red card for a denying a scoring attempt on one Ben Morris in the first minute of stoppage time in the first half of play. Then, in the second minute of stoppage time, at first I thought it was Ben Morris that got pulled. However, Ryan Williams puts in a golazo.
What is a golazo?
Right over the line, the defending line, right into the back of the net.
Wow.
Detroit City up 2-0 going into halftime of this match.
And we were feeling good. I never heard the word Golazo. The only time I heard Golazo was the CBS Sports Golazo channel.
Well, Golazo, in layman terms, Golazo means a stellar scoring chance from outside the box.
Oh yeah,
that's what a Golazo means for layman terms.
And then CBS renamed the soccer channel after that. Yeah,
great channel, and props to CBS for picking up the USL this year.
Oh yeah,
a lot of the games have been on the Golazo channel this year, and I'll tell you what, this is the league to follow going forward.
You have to follow that league.
This is the league to follow going forward. Even though we are second tier.
They will never put their game behind a paywall app. I will say this right now. They would never, ever do that. No.
Even though Messi's game was available free to Apple TV. I didn't watch that game last night. Did you?
I did not watch the game last night. I was busy doing something. Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Who cares? Who gives a who cares? Put it this way. The USL has the only scorer right now that has more goals than this so-called GOAT from Argentina called Messi.
Nick Marcanic.
Yeah, Nick Marcanic has had more goals than Lionel Messi.
And that's
just saying.
And
just saying. He's going to Europe next year.
Unfortunately, yeah. And by the way, he clinched the goal scoring title long ago.
Yeah.
With the end of the season, that's now the benchmark.
The only bad thing is, and I think we're going to go over the Charleston game. I haven't seen the stats yet of what happened to that, but we'll go over that when we continue on here on After Hours here.
Well, let's go to the second half.
Let's go to the second half of play here. So, prior to this year, Detroit City FC has never had multiple players scored more or scored double-digit goals.
It was a questionable.
This is like a tease here, but Ben Moore scores his 9th goal off an assist from Alex Villanueva in the 53rd minute of play. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, off an assist from Matthew Sheldon in the.
But I know it exists.
Oh.
I just heard a horse.
Scratch that last one. 53rd minute of play. Ben Moore scores his first goal of the night in the 53rd minute off of Alex Villanueva. Detroit City up at the time by a score of 3-1.
And that was it. Oh, it was 3-0.
Oh, 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, and when I saw that's it. We just locked up the game.
Blame it on the Stros peeps.
I know. I know. I don't drink alcohol, yeah. But when they scored 3-0, that was it. Good night, Irene.
Yep. However, Toronto SC Loney, Hugo Mabange scored a goal in the 57th minute to make it a 3-1 deficit. And then Ben Morris would become,
and I came back, I'm like, Mom, have you seen the owl?
Get his 10th goal, would become the second multiple double-digit goal scorer in Detroit City history with a goal assisted by Matthew Sheldon in the 65th minute of play. Yep. So 10 goals for Ben Morris this year. 10 goals for Maxi Rodriguez this year. Regardless, I mean, Maxi already has the Black Arrow award.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Ben Morris's play this year?
Ben Morris' play has been really great. It's been really great. You know what I mean? 10 goals. That's a major accomplishment. You know what I mean? We already had a great scorer in Maxi who won the Black Arrow award last week and Rudolph Keyword. But that two players really good, I must say. I've been a fan of Maxi for a long time. He have now 31 career goals here in City. You know what I mean? From the MPSL days to the NISA days to the USL
actually,
days.
mostly from the NISA days because we grabbed Maxi in 2021 along with Pato Batalla-Faz.
Quack, quack.
Yep. Hope you're doing well, Pato, and doing well with your recovery, and hope to see you back on the pitch real soon.
We really miss you, by the way.
Yes.
Here in Detroit.
Regardless of where you're at. So,
Okay.
but those two came in 2021 to help our NISA side at the time
Yes.
achieve the 2021 Legends Cup down in Chattanooga, and then win the overall 2020-2021 NISA championship that year. So they were a big addition.
You're right.
They were two big additions at the time for Trevor James, who was the coach and general manager of the team before we established the sporting director position for Detroit City.
By the way, I did double check. It's still there. It's still there. The hardware's still there. Yeah. We always have to check if anybody asks.
Yeah, they haven't repoed it yet.
No.
Just saying. They have not repoed it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to give a shout out to LA Force winning the championship? Yeah. Nah. Free Maryland Bobcats, by the way.
Play the Bobcats for it's a long story.
They got screwed over, but I digress. So
that team had another backyard game.
As I mentioned, Ben Moore's getting his 10th goal of the year. Ties Maxie Rodriguez for the most goals for the year for Detroit City, and came away with 4-1 victory tonight and a dominating performance. 4 goals is the most goals as Detroit City has scored all year, and that was a 4-0 victory down in Miami.
Yeah.
So going into the playoffs, that was a very, for a dead rubber match.
Yeah.
That was a dominant performance by Detroit City.
I know.
Let's go. Let's go over the stats real quick here.
Okay, let's go to the stats.
Yeah, let's go over the stats real quick. Overall,
I presume City was dominating all night long.
Well, according to the possession, 55 to 45 in the possession.
Okay.
Carol. Total shots, San Antonio had more shots total. However, more shots on target were by Detroit City, 5 as far as 3. The accurate passes, 82% to 78% in favor of City. More fouls for Detroit City. But, however, I did mention the red card earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That put San Antonio down 10 men.
Yeah, and the guy who got the red card foul, that was supposed to be his last game as a professional player. Talk about end your career on a red card. Unbelievable.
Sad. Well, we remember one coach that is related to us that performed what we call the DCO double. Scored a goal, got a red card in the same match. So, props up to that. I don't know if anybody can say, I don't know if anybody in the football, soccer world can say that.
I will tell you one thing. When we hired Danny Dicchio, my first question was, Danny who? And then I had to go to the Encyclopedia YouTube file to see his first goal. Yeah, the first goal scorer ever in Toronto FC history, you know what I mean? And that happened in the 22nd minute. And near the end of the first half, he was involved in a hard foul, and he got a red card. Same game. You cannot make this up.
No, you can't. No, not in your lifetime can you make that ish up.
I know.
I'm trying to keep it clean for,
I know.
Even though it's not going to be good for kids anyway.
And incidentally, I heard a really great story, and he told me this story personally. When a reporter said, you got sort of like the Gordie Howe hat trick at the hockey for a goal, and that's it, and a fight. And guess what? He said, what's the Gordie Howe hat trick? He had no clue what Gordie Howe was.
And to be fair, being a soccer player that he was, and now a coach, a manager, a coach, whatever. I'm sure he didn't understand that term. That's only a term to North American, fans, especially of the NHL.
Yeah.
And it's a quality of that. pretty much. But you know what? It goes down in legend.
And I
That's
know,
my
and I mentioned that when they went up 3-1, or I think 4-1. I was asking, did DKO went to the Dan Campbell's coaching school of running up the score? Maybe not. Considering there was a little controversy with the little dumbass comment, dumb, about Nate Tyler scoring a penalty kick goal. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do any speculation.
Yeah.
But like I said,
we'll just leave it at that.
But some say, was it rubbing it in, scoring the third goal against Miami and running up the score against San Antonio? The team playoffs.
Considering, and we'll go over the scores in a minute here.
Oh, yeah.
A minute or so here. But Miami's a bad team. Miami pretty much is a bad team, so it really doesn't matter at that point.
And by the way, there's a tease with their last game ever. I'm going to leave it at that.
I wouldn't say the last game of this season, not the last game ever.
Sorry.
We don't want to detonate them as of yet.
Okay.
But the fact that, when you're talking about Danny DiCchio pressing the Dan Campbell method here, I look at it as gritty Detroit City. They play with a lot of grit.
Yeah.
Grit has been a name. Grit has been a word, not a name. A word that has been, let's just say, fashioned around Detroit sports as of late. Even the Detroit Pistons put grit around their logo at their practice facility to try to embrace this thing. Yes, it's a Dan Campbell thing.
Yes.
Bar none. It's a Dan Campbell thing. But you look at the grit that the Lions have shown.
Yeah.
You look at the grit that the Detroit Tigers showed.
Yes, they're in the
going into the playoffs this year in Major League Baseball. And you look at the grit that Detroit City has done throughout the season. Tonight's performance was their best performance goal-wise since beating Miami FC down at Pitbull Stadium.
Pitbull, formerly Rico Silva Stadium. Right. Because Pitbull, he's Mr. Worldwide, for God's sakes. You know what I mean?
Don't even get me started on what Miami FC is going through. If you want to get us started on that,
go to the pregame.
Yeah, go to Soccer Night in Detroit's
pregame show.
Yeah, pregame show. We talked a little bit about that there.
Yeah.
But you talk about the grittiness of Detroit City, and I mentioned this before, gritty Detroit City, in terms of the performances that they make and all that stuff. We didn't see that much, say May, June, or whatever it was, when people who I've been told wrote us off in the playoff race.
Yeah.
Wrote us off. I've been told by certain people that we were written off from the playoff race. Here's where we're standing right now in the Eastern Conference. We're the third seed. There's a possibility that we could get 2 home playoff games.
Yeah.
2. Depending on what happens next week.
Okay.
We'll go through the playoff scenarios in a little bit here.
Okay.
But the thing is, you look at this as well. You look at the stretch run that we had.
Yes.
You go back probably about a month ago.
Yes.
You play New Mexico United, top dogs in the West.
We beat them.
Yep. You play Louisville City the following week.
We beat
2-1.
We beat them.
You go to Monterey Bay. You beat them in Monterey Bay. That 3-game stretch right there.
And we stole their 3 points, and look where they are out. Bye-bye.
Yep, they're not playing.
No.
They're not playing in the playoffs next week.
No.
That stretch right there, I think, exemplified Detroit City's season right there.
Yes.
I think it did, because they proved they could step up to the tops in the Western Conference. They could step up to the tops in the league. Mind you, at home. That's another story with Louisville City. They've been dominant at Lim Family Stadium.
Yeah, that's not an easy stadium to play at.
No, and it's been proven there many a
over
time.
And many over again.
Yes, many a times. However, we proved it on a national stage too.
Yes,
Being
against
that
Rhode
that
Island,
game
yeah.
against
Rhode Island.
no, I'm talking
okay.
about the game against Louisville.
Yes.
That was a national TV game. That
on
was
ESPN.
Yes, ESPN2, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And the way that so they got a penalty kick.
Okay.
Other than that, I mean, after that magical play by Connor Rutz in that game, it was just the fact that they just it was totally a day in which we know who Lou City is. We know who they are. We know how they roll. We came in there and it's like we knew how they roll, but next thing you know, we ended up coming in a 2-1 victory that day. And the momentum that this City team has gone through since the stretch that we ended up, we didn't win a home game since the Charleston Battery back in June. And then we come up, and then next thing you know, everything starts coming together. And
coming up City.
They start getting a roll. The grit starts coming on. And it's like a never say die attitude with this team. Goonies never die. That's my pop culture reference for tonight. Goonies never die.
Goonies never die. Yes,
that's my pop culture reference.
We're a great band of about 18 men, 2 on goaltenders, midfielders, forward defenders. They have never. They're cried. They're going to be in every game whatsoever.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think the substitutions were made at the right time tonight? Like Maxie going out early?
Yes. Because there was a curse that always happened. You don't put your star players for the entire game. It's early on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or near the end of the season, you know what I mean? You don't want another. Let's say,
especially at the point that we were at that point. I think we were up 3-0 at that point. Maybe prior to that, because I think that was before Ben Morris got his goal when Maxie went out of the match.
Right. And don't forget, you don't want anybody injured in a bad injury like what we saw a couple of weeks ago with Adrian Hutchinson of the Lions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were winning.
I know you're recording. Next one,
I
got.
Mike.
Next one, I got you.
All right. Thank you, brother.
We were winning, and then Adrian Hutchinson went out with a devastating injury, and thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah. Love you, Steven.
I would love you, brother.
Thank you.
Steven, Mad Cat, I'm crashing the fucking feed. DCFC went up.
Get out.
Big, killed it.
Woo!
We love you, brother. We'll see you drumming in the stands next week.
Like I said, Max Hutchinson went out with an injury during a blowout. And if this was the fourth quarter, he would.
It was just a little bump. I mean, Maureen came out to treat him a little bit, and I mean, it looked like a little bump on the chin. But you know what? You don't want to take any risk at this point, especially if you got everything sealed. You know what's going to happen. Just let things be what they be. Take him out of the match.
Okay.
And I can't remember who was that subbed in for him, but that was prior to the Ben Morris goal because we were all in euphoria.
I know.
We were all in euphoria for the Ben Morris goal. His first goal tonight. At that point.
Well, it was a great victory. And all right, they're saying good night, everybody. But that was a really great victory, and we were scoreboard watching. We were watching a couple games here. We were on the phone, on the tablet.
I think I was probably in the
garage sale.
Well, at the garage sale in the players' lounge or whatever it was at the time. But the first goal, I totally missed it. Steve ended up seeing Max's goal. So. But yeah, I mean, the euphoria all around tonight, it was just tremendous tonight. And you know what? The vibes were good as far as that goes. I mean, you're talking like, it was a great match to watch, and probably one of the best City matches all year. I'm still gonna put hands down, Louisville was the best match of the year.
Oh yeah,
the 2-1 victory against them. But, I mean, you still had the 4-0 victory against Miami FC, and then tonight the 4-1 against a team that is just...
And I think
they're beside themselves, really, Steve. I think, this was not the same San Antonio team.
No.
That
No.
won the championship in 2022.
You're right. A lot of
And
infections
They
and all
they,
that.
they fell to Sac Republic last year in the
I
playoffs.
know.
I mean, this was not the same San Antonio
No.
team. I mean, they've gone through so much, and I mean, losing whoever. Let me go back to that real quick here.
Yeah, and don't forget, I was surprised last week the West Conference field was set. Nobody got eliminated. Well, everybody got eliminated. This week, similar fashion, but everybody had something to play for.
Losing Marley when they did. I mean, that being now it was his last match as a San Antonio FC player. Losing him in the
red card.
In the first minute of stoppage time in the first half. You know, they look like a demoralized bunch. I mean, you could see it in the possession and all that stuff we dealt with earlier.
They have a lot of rebuilding to go, but like I said in the pregame, you
San
could go
Antonio
from
can do that.
ninth place to a middle of the pack.
San Antonio can do that though, because I mean they got a good ownership group down there.
The San Antonio Spurs, the NBA basketball team.
Yep, they got a good ownership group down there. I think they will recover. I think they will recover in the long run. However, for this year, they're a moot point.
Okay.
So I mean, I looked at it. Even when we were watching the Tampa match, we knew this was going to be a dead rubber match anyway for Detroit City because we know where we stood, and it was just a matter of looking at how everything else was going to shape up in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you're right. Could we go to the Eastern Conference? Because there was a lot of games.
Absolutely there was.
That locked up the entire.
Let me throw out one real quick here.
Okay.
First casualty of the night was Loudoun United. The first casualty, the first one we put in the box was Loudoun United. They lost 2-1 to Charleston Battery.
Yeah, Charleston Battery.
Nick Marcanic did not score a goal in this one.
No.
Juan Torres in the 51st minute and Arturo Rodriguez in the 68th minute.
Yes.
By
Felicia.
Loudoun tied things up, though, in the 61st minute of play, but pretty much it was, after Rodriguez's goal, they were done. So the first rest in peace of the night went to Loudoun United. If you follow me on TikTok, at Brett Peel, that was the deal there.
They are now going to heaven as joining.
They're going to be rebuilding
again. They'll be reincarnated at the start of the season in March. So rest in peace.
This is the game of the night, though. However, this is the game of the night that decided everything in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
Paco Craig, in the 12th minute of play, put North Carolina FC in the lead by a score of 1-0.
Yes.
Olitz Anderson, in the 45th minute of play, put North Carolina up by a score of 2-0. There was the final goal of the night. Wait a minute. I take that back. Las Vegas scored first in that game. Corey Bennett in the 9th minute of play put Las Vegas up 1-0, and then North Carolina just finished the deal there. They shut everything down in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
So Hartford, Charleston, Birmingham Legion.
Bye.
Yes. And who else in the Eastern Conference?
Loudoun done.
Loudoun was
Miami.
Loudoun got took care of early.
And Miami.
But the ones that were left, Loudoun, Birmingham, and Hartford, all done.
Bye.
Just thanks to the 2-1 victory tonight
and
by North Carolina FC.
We have the Eastern Conference field.
Yep. Yeah, we do. We'll break that down in a little bit here.
Okay.
So, also elsewhere tonight, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they sealed the deal in the playoffs, taking care of New Mexico FC by a score of 2-0. Edward Kizla in the 9th minute. Ruiz got the own goal for how embarrassing.
Own goal.
Tough year for El Paso Locomotive. 19th minute of play, 2-0 victory for Pittsburgh Riverhounds there. Lou City over Phoenix Rising 4-1. I'm not even going.
And by the way, that ties the regular season record, 24 wins.
That's the only stat we really need to care
I
about
know.
as far as that game goes. The big one of the night, as you know, we alluded to this
Yes.
earlier. Tampa Bay 3, Indy 11 0. So now, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Keyworth Stadium, Detroit City FC will be taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies
Yes.
in the quarterfinal round
First
of
game,
the Eastern Conference.
first home game ever since we entered the USL finals, USL championship.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah, first home playoff
Yes.
game in the USL
Yeah.
championship era of Detroit City history.
And I know it's 7 o'clock. Usually it's 4 o'clock for late winter games, but it was not our decision. It was a league decision. So if you want to play,
Is what it is.
So bundle up for next Saturday night. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's going to be on ESPN Plus, but will it be on local CW50? I think so.
Oh, most likely. Most likely. Let me go over the goal scorers real quick on that one. Manuel Arteaga got a penalty kick in the 9th minute of play to put Tampa Bay up 1-0. Cal Jennings in the 63rd minute of play. And let's see. Oh, they didn't even show it when I was looking it up. Daniel Crisotomo in the 28th minute of play. And it was just total domination for Tampa Bay tonight in their last home game at IMG Stadium.
As a temporary venue.
A temporary venue. L Lane is going to be ready for the playoffs, but now
they're not going to host the playoff game, unfortunately, no.
Oh, do we have a prediction for next Saturday?
I'm hoping we win. You know what I mean? That game broke a streak but did they come in too hot? I don't know. But that's going to be a tough game. We have beaten them.
I look at their past form on this one because Tampa Bay has been struggling even prior to the back-to-back hurricanes that have been affecting the Tampa St. Pete area.
Yeah.
They have been on a downfall prior to that. So who knows what Tampa Bay team we're going to see Saturday going in.
Yeah.
And
going Indy will face on Rhode Island. And by the way,
hold that thought.
Right.
Hold that thought.
We're going to
go over the whole playoff scenario in a little bit.
All right.
As we finish off the Eastern Conference here. Rhode Island FC.
That's the game I was about to say.
Rhode Island FC.
Rhode Island.
Okay, mind you, last week at Keyworth, a certain person got on Nate Steinwasser for taking a penalty kick. I'm brushing that off by the wayside right now.
Okay.
Miami FC is not a good football team.
No.
They're not a good football team. Final score I don't know where they play. Providence, whatever it is.
I think it was in Providence at the arena.
Somewhere in the proximity.
Yeah.
Final score. Rhode Island 8. Miami FC 1.
Oh, my God.
They got a mercy goal. In the 45th minute or 46th minute of the first half.
You know what? They don't do mercy rules in a pro sport.
There is no mercy rule in any professional soccer.
In the MHSAA, we would call it done after an 8-0 8-goal lead. Holy crap. Oh, my God.
Oh, it was, Fusion. Noah Fusion in the 10th minute of play. J.J. Williams in the 15th minute of play. Ybarra in the 31st minute. J.J. Williams on a penalty in the 39th minute of play to put him up 4-0. They got the goal from Michael Lawrence in the 46th minute of play. Close out the first half. J.J. Williams closes out the first half with a goal. So he ends up with a hat trick. And then Nadar's in the 53rd minute of play. Let's see. Albert Deekwood scored. He scored in the 75th minute.
Scored again.
And Jojea Quazera in the 81st minute of play. They destroyed
Well, considering
They destroyed
they
them.
left up the pickings, and then the Examiner said, I checked the team and say they're dead, and they're really dead. I was going to do a wither thing, when the quarter examined the wicked wick of the East, and when the house of Dorothy Withen fell on her, and I don't want to make her of it.
I think of the Simpsons meme. Stop it! He's already dead.
He's already dead.
Oh my god! It was just a brutal beatdown, and that pretty much put the beatdown on the Eastern Conference as far as we're concerned.
Okay.
As far as playoff teams are concerned in the East right now, and that was basically the last real game of the night here.
Yeah, you're right.
Because everything else is going on right now. They're all in progress.
The two eliminated teams.
Birmingham currently, right now, I think they're at halftime. They're up 4-0 on the Oakland Roots.
But
they're done.
They're done.
Hartford Athletic is at 0-0 at halftime.
They're done.
They're done as well. So the Eastern Conference is all set.
All set in stone.
Okay. So let's take a look at what's going to come up for the playoffs in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship.
Okay.
The Eastern Conference playoffs look like this. North Carolina will be traveling to Lynn Family Stadium to take on Louisville City. Indy 11 will be taking on Rhode Island FC. Charleston Battery will be hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds next Saturday night. And, of course, Detroit City will be hosting the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Kickoff for that game is at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets right now at SeatGeek.com.
All right, let's break it down right now. Detroit City taking on Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tampa Bay came here. We were down 10 men in the first match here at Keyworth Stadium. Let's go back to that one real quick here. Let's see. It's going to take me a minute here. So, take me a little bit. So the first match that Detroit played Tampa Bay was at Keyworth Stadium. That occurred on July 3rd or July 6th. We went down a man in that match thanks to a red card, thanks to a second yellow by Lejo. And
two yellows to go around.
Elvis Amo scored in the 71st minute of play. However, this was in the bad stretch for Detroit City.
Considering we lose the league in the last 15 minutes. So.
Nick Moon scored in the 94th minute of play. And to draw the match and earn Tampa Bay a point at Keyworth Stadium.
And
how do you think Detroit City is going to remember July 6th?
Try to play a smartful match. You know what I mean? I know you got Cal Jennings. You know what I mean? Seeing him scored again. He scored in the game against Hartford. He could be very dangerous. Who knows? You know what I mean? So,
And, I mean, Manuel Ortega. I mean, that's another player that you got to worry. Nick Moon and other players that you got to worry.
Yeah.
However, we erased that.
Yeah.
We go down to Al Lane Stadium later in the year
for the big upset,
August 21st, and this is pretty much, I want to say, one of the key parts of City's run as of late was winning at Al Lane Stadium that night by a score of 3-2. I think that was probably one of the. And then after that, we lose to FC Tulsa at home. After that, we go on this streak where we haven't lost a game since then.
I know.
So,
and
in that, we've won 5 games, drawn in the last few games. We've won 5 games, drawn 4.
I see.
And now we're seeing a gritty type of football for Detroit City now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the matchup that I would rather see. They're going to come up here. I mean, grant you, they've been vagabonds for the last month.
Yeah.
You might as well say. They've been vagabonds for the last month. Al Lane, I'm sure, will be back in running order.
Next season.
Should they happen to
I know.
pull the upset off and host a playoff game? But that's whatever. I don't think they're going to. I mean, 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't see that happening. They're going to come up here. It's not going to be 80 degrees.
No.
It's not going to be nice and, nice and breezy.
The future forecast said it's going to be partly cloudy, 53 degrees. Now remember,
53 at kickoff.
At kickoff. Remember, this is November the 2nd. You know what I mean?
They have come up. They have won in sort of an ordered climate. I think they beat 2 years ago. I believe they beat Lou City at Lynn Family Stadium in the Eastern Conference Final. That was back in 2021, and then they hosted the final. Or no, I take that back. That was at Tampa Bay.
Yes.
The Eastern Conference Final.
Yes.
The Eastern Conference Final that year.
That
was the year in which their goalkeeper got injured.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Our former city player who scored us our first U.S. Open Cup win. He was a regular in Tampa Bay, and yes, he got injured in the celebration.
Yep.
Oh my!
And Orange County came in and ended up winning the USL Championship that year back in 2021.
And if you're wondering if the name who I can't remember, Evan something, you know what I mean? If he wasn't injured, would that be a different?
That might have been. It might have been. But it's a moot point at this point now. So I mean, you look at it.
It's not one of those would have, could have, should have things. You know what I mean?
Orange County comes in, wins the USL Championship, and but then again, for Lou City, that was another
loss,
blemish on the record because even though you won 2 championships, still didn't earn the star because you lost in the Eastern Conference Final that year.
Yes.
So, but I look at it this way. I think that win at Al Lane Stadium pretty much set the tone for what Detroit City has done since then. And I think, you look at it going forward, I'm thinking to myself that it's going to be a difference factor in this match.
We got fans, you got smoke, you got everybody on
King
you.
Wharf is going to be
rocking.
The most electric.
Oh, yes.
In my memory since Columbus Crew 2021.
Yes. Open Cup.
Or was it 2021 or 2022?
2022, yeah.
2022. 2022. It's
Before
going to
Mr.
be.
Dart
It's
pull
going
off,
to be the most electric
Oh, yeah.
since then,
in
my opinion, because they're going to be on their case, and I urge you, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet to this match, get your, I'll say it, ass on SeatGeek right now and get your tickets now because
it's going to sell out.
Yes,
I got my tickets already.
Yep.
As a season ticket member, as long as we host a playoff game, you could get tickets if you're a season ticket.
Tickets are available right now on SeatGeek.com.
Yes,
make sure you get your tickets to this one. We want that place to be loud.
I know you can
We
find.
want that place. We want to have the atmosphere like it was for the Lions for their 2 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to be the atmosphere that it was at Comerica Park when the Tigers were playing the Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
We want noise. We want fire.
Uh-huh.
We want to bring the heat.
Oh yeah.
Especially against a team that I think we can beat these guys. I really honestly think. And that was the matchup I was looking forward to personally.
Uh-huh.
I thought we match up better with Tampa Bay than we did with anybody else in the as far as the playoffs go. And I think we could eke out a victory. It's going to be a tough one. Regardless, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to matter how gritty Detroit City can be at that particular moment. And I have faith that Danny Dicchio is going to bring that heat and bring that grit Saturday night to Keyworth Stadium whenever that game happens.
Yeah.
Game time will be at 7:00.
And it's going to be on ESPN Plus, and since this is a game here in Detroit, it's going to be seen on Detroit 50. Once again, consult your local listings, and
And not to mention, for those of you inside the state of Michigan,
CBSDetroit.com.
Gotcha.
Yes. And by the way, the USL will release all the time for all the playoff games on their website tonight. So
yes. Once everything is said and done, as far
make a date.
Yep, make a date
for next weekend.
But the one thing that we know for true and for sure is Detroit City versus Tampa Bay Rowdies, 7:00, Keyworth Stadium. God, I hate to sound like one of those wrestling promoters here. It's gonna be a rumble at Keyworth Stadium.
Or be there. Or be there.
I hate to sound like George Crybaby Cannon or Mean Gene Okerlund.
George Crybaby Cannon, a legendary name here in Detroit.
Oh my God, do I remember those days of watching Maple Leaf Wrestling on Channel 9?
Yes, and he was the host of the local thing when we still had the local promotion, a legend in his own right. You know what I mean?
think you remember when Jerry the King Lawler used to be. There used to be a show. I mean, back
in
Memphis. No, on
no.
Detroit City's old home.
Okay,
Channel 20. Jerry the King Lawler would be on one of those broadcasts. I think I've actually seen Jerry the King Lawler in action. Maybe back when I was in high school.
Oh, man. I know. We're getting old.
I know. I'm going to be, 54 come November. Hopefully,
I'm 51.
I'm hoping for a birthday present that we host the USL Championship game on November 23rd.
Hopefully.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But that's got to get played out. The second season begins next week.
Yes. Everybody's 0-0, and everybody have a clean sheet.
Yep.
No yellow or red card because
second
they
season.
reset. Yes.
Yeah, the second season begins next week, and we're going to be all on top of it. I'm going to have this guy with me for a pre-match
next Saturday.
Next Saturday from Keyworth Stadium as we preview Detroit City taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yes.
In the quarterfinal round of the USL Eastern Conference playoffs.
And I'll bring you Canafago to toast for the start of the playoffs.
And I'm sure Neil Rule will be on the mic for this one.
He will.
Because he can't miss a playoff game.
He can't miss a playoff game. Basketball season is about to begin and all that. So, hey, he can't miss it.
Pistons are 0-3. Forget them. We're a playoff team right now. Dang it all.
And by the way, Oakland, you haven't started yet. So
yeah. I'm sure Neil's going to be there on Saturday doing the call for and Neil loves playoff games.
I know.
One playoff game, I think I wasn't a City supporter at the time, but I think one playoff game. Mm-hmm. Monty with the right foot.
Of course!
Anyway, wrapping things up here from the clubhouse tonight. He's Steve. I'm Mad Cat. Keep your feet in the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Or actually, keep
the
reaching.
galaxy.
Thank you.
See you next